Hi everybody, this is Oksana, and in this video we're going to make this adorable little cherry pendant. So if you want to see how I made this, just keep watching. So we're starting out with some 20 gauge round copper wire. My wire I purchased from riogrande.com, and it's just dead soft copper. So you're going to need one piece of the wire, and my piece measures about 10.5, let's just say 11 inches. And then you're gonna need some kind of little leaf bead where the hole goes through the leaf. I just found these on eBay. I'm sure there's lots of different things that you'll find if you search for leaf beads on Etsy or eBay. They're just plastic and they measure a little more than 10 millimeters, maybe like 12 millimeters. And the hole goes through this way. And there was a whole bunch of different colors of them. They were like brown and yellow. It was like a little mixture that I had purchased a while back there. And then you need some kind of beads that will represent your cherries. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any red ones, but I found these orange ones that I had that are agate. This one kind of has some red to it, so I thought it would work. And they look like a little bit smaller than 10 millimeters. They look to be about 8 millimeters. But feel free to play around with these sizes. You don't have to have it be identical proportions to mine. It might look cool with bigger cherries, you know, or a bigger leaf, etc. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just gonna slide the leaf here onto roughly the middle of my wire. And the way I want my leaf to go, let me flip it this way just so you can see, I want this to be the edge, like the leaf is going this way and then the cherries are going to be over there. So what you want to do on that side, that's where you want to bend the wire, and you just want to push it up against your leaf on the back. So this is the back, it's just going straight across. And then when you get to the other wire, so let me kind of pinch that. When you get to the other wire, you want to crisscross them like this, and then you're just going to twist. This is a little tricky to twist because the leaf is there moving. It seems to be working okay, and you don't want to twist for very long because this will be adequate. This is just going to be our little stem with the little leaf coming out of the cherries. Now you might notice that your leaf is going to be quite loose in there, so what you can do to fix that is you can just come in here with some pliers and you can hold the leaf and you can twist some more, but with your pliers. So I'm just trying to kind of tighten up the twist right there where it meets the leaf. And be careful, especially if you have a glass leaf, because if you make it too tight, you might accidentally crack your leaf. So just do it slow and steady and gentle, because you don't want to break it. But if you just tighten it up, then it's not going to be so floppity and it's going to stay in place a little better. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make our bail. And I'm just going to take this top wire. So if this is facing me, then this wire is kind of more on the top than the other wire. So that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to use my round nose pliers so that I can bend that and make a loop for my bail. Just like this. All right, and now I'm going to hold that. And this wire coming out the side, I'm going to bring that across. So here, let me show you the back view here so you can probably see it a little better. So I'm going to bring this across, almost like twisting them together to lock this bail in place. So it looks like this. And, oh, wrong pliers. That was my round nose pliers. I just want my regular pliers just to kind of press down on that a little bit. Press down on my bail. And I'm just going to give it one more little twist like this, just to make that nice and tight. All right, so now our bail is not coming apart. And here's what that looks like. So we'll arrange our leaf a little later. I do like to kind of curve and bend it, but first let's worry about our little cherries here. So I'm just going to make these wires angled in a way that I'm happy with, like how you want the little cherries to go. You can have them be wider apart, closer together. It's totally up to you. And what you want to do is just slide on your little cherry bead and decide where you want it to go. Like, is this too high or too low? So what I'm gonna do once I determine the perfect height is I'm gonna go just a smidge lower like this, and I'm gonna trim that wire. And the reason we went a little smidge lower is because we're gonna take this now, so I'm holding it upside down. We're gonna take this little tip with our round nose pliers, and we're gonna make a little curve just like this. I'm sorry if you hear the construction that my neighbors are doing out there. Hopefully it's not too loud. So I made a little loop like this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try and squish it as small as it can go. And then if you let go of your cherry, it just sits there comfortably. It's not gonna fall off. So then you just wanna do that to the other side as well. So now we're just gonna do that here on the other side. So I'm just gonna take a look at the height of that. And now I'm just gonna trim, leave myself that little end there. And then, oh, if I forgot to mention it last time, when you're curving this, the cherry's on there. It's just you're letting it fall here. Because if you take the bead off and then you curve it, you won't be able to put it back on. So I'm just making the little loop there. And again, just trying to make it as small as possible by squishing it down with my pliers. And now the little cherries stay there, and you can arrange your little leaf to be a bit lower down and maybe have like a little curve in it. And there's another thing I'm going to show you, because what happens with the cherries is they will stay down due to gravity, but if you hold it upside down, they do move. So I think it's fine because you'd be wearing it like this, so it would look normal most of the time. But if it bothers you, the fact that you can move them, which actually would be kind of a fun fidget toy, so fidget toy idea. But if you want to lock them in place, what you can do is take some thin wire. It could be round wire. If you're using round wire, I would use 26 gauge, or you can take some half round wire, which is what I have here. I just happen to have that on hand, but this can be all round wire design. Feel free to use round wire. This is 24 gauge half round. But if you're using round, oh, it's also 11 inches, how convenient. Use 26 if you're using round. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this, the flat side, because this half round has a flat side. If yours is round, you don't have to worry about sides. I'm just gonna put it on the halfway mark of it, right behind where the two cherry sticks, stems come out of, and I'm gonna hold it, and I'm gonna start with one end at a time. I might have to move my leaf, it's kind of in the way there. I'm gonna do one end at a time, And I'm gonna wrap it flat side down, half rounded side up, or just wrap it around and around. If you have a round wire, probably would be easier. And just periodically push this together to keep it nice and tight, and just keep wrapping it all the way down. And then eventually it'll reach the very bottom here. And once it does reach the bottom, you just trim it. Leave yourself a little tiny end there. You can't really see it, but there's a teeny little end of that half round wire sticking up, and I'm just gonna press that down there. You can see it now. So I'm just gonna press that down, kind of go with the curve of it, almost like you're just wrapping it around, but with your pliers. And then, yeah, just make sure it's pressed down, it's not poking anywhere. And now this cherry can't move, but this one can. So we still have our wire here coming from the back because we just laid it across the back. And we're just gonna take it and we're gonna wrap it around, whatever's easier for you to hold. It's easier for me to kind of hold it like this, but we're gonna wrap it around, keeping the flat side down and the half rounded side up, just like this around. So same thing that we did on the other side until we get all the way down. And same thing here, when you get to the very end, let's just trim that nice and short. And we'll just press down that little wire end here with our pliers. There we go. It's kind of hard to get in there. So now our cherries are complete, and you can kind of mess around with the curvature of all these wires to get it to look how you want. If you want maybe the cherries a little closer together, but here's how it's looking, and here's the finished result. And then here's another one I have that I made when I was practicing for this video. So if you make 2 of them, you can make little earrings, and then you can make a pendant, and you'll have a whole set of jewelry. So I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.